Good morning. It's March the 14th, 2018. It's Alexandra Morton here on the coast of British Columbia, and I'm here with some fabulous news. The Namgis First Nation have sued the Minister of Fisheries, Dominique LeBlanc, and Marine Harvest to stop them from putting Piscine reovirus-infected Atlantic salmon into their territorial waters. And specifically, they have filed for an injunction to stop Marine Harvest from restocking the Swanson Island salmon farm in their territory, where Namgis members and people from around the world have been standing in protest on that facility for over 200 days. I've been fighting this battle in court for 5 years, and to have a voice as powerful as the Namgis step into the ring in defense of wild salmon on this subject is really an incredible feeling. I am enormously grateful. Meanwhile, in Washington State, the Washington legislature voted to phase out Atlantic salmon farming. It was really a dramatic vote. The bill disappeared from the order papers first thing in the morning, then it reappeared late in the afternoon with 25 amendments attached to it like sea lice designed to kill the vote. One senator runs in, he's all disheveled, he's like, "This bill violates Rule 25," and the audio feed went down and people were wandering around in disarray. And then it came back on. Sorry, no cigar. The vote went through 16 to 31.
Engrossed House Bill 2957 is declared passed. The title of the bill will be the title of the act.
Now we learned that the salmon farming company put up $72,000 to lobby the politicians. So we're going to see now if the governor of Washington is going to sign this into law or not, and basically whether the company got value for their lobby dollars. Because if they follow through with this, British Columbia will be the only place on the west coast of North America where Atlantic salmon farming is still allowed. 5 days later, Minister Doug Donaldson, in charge of the salmon farm tenures in British Columbia, came out and said he was very interested in moving the industry to land where possible. So that where possible part is a little bit disappointing because the salmon farming industry can just say, it's not possible. That's what they've been saying for the last 10 years. But meanwhile, on the east coast of the United States, in the state of Maine, 2 very large land-based salmon farm operations just started up. And so it is possible, and in fact it is the future, and whether British Columbia wants to destroy the last wild salmon it has with this industry or move forward to something better and brighter remains to be seen. The Green Party produced a very strong statement saying that they support moving salmon farms onto land. March 7th marked a new low for the company Marine Harvest as they injured a young woman, Carissa Glendale, trying to push past her with 2 big men to get to Ernest Alfred, saying they had legal documents to serve him when he wasn't even present at the camp. So Ernest contacted Marine Harvest and said, "Hey, you want to serve me? Come to Alert 2 p.m., Town Square." And so there they met, and surrounded by representatives of 9 First Nations, Marine Harvest handed him the legal document with the words "shame, shame" coming from the crowd. But the document didn't even have Ernest's name on it, nor did it have the name of the site that he's been occupying for over 200 days. So we don't really know what Marine Harvest was doing with this stunt, but it certainly suggests that Premier Horgan needs to do something, because violence is escalating from these companies as he dithers as to whether or not to renew the 22 salmon farm tenures in the Broughton Archipelago, which are all going to expire in 3 months. And the nations are very, very clear that they do not want to see this restocking happen. I teamed up with 3 brilliant young people to produce a short film called Racing a Virus. It's about the cover-up on the impact of Piscine reovirus on salmon. Over 100,000 people have now watched it. Amid this turmoil, the first young wild salmon have left their rivers, and they are swimming through the plume of blood water infected with Piscine reovirus off Campbell River, and they are being infected with sea lice and Piscine reovirus as they pass the salmon farms dotting this entire coast. The salmon farming industry likes to mock and slander me when I say this, but I'm going to say it again. Wild salmon runs are going extinct in British Columbia, and this is going to continue for as long as salmon farms are allowed to be placed on the migration routes of these fish, shedding billions of viruses and sea lice. But there's a lot of hope on the horizon, so thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you again. Bye.